Self an answer towards that Rek'Sai in this pick. It's harder to pick something like that from Bin now. So Bin, he has to answer Shanji's Rumble, one of his very best champions.
If there's anyone that can, it's Bin. That is for sure. Are you ready for the Wukong top to come out? It's apparently insanely good into the Rumble. To be fair, there were rumblings of Wukong top over the last few weeks. We've not really seen it in the LPL though. But this is going to come through for Alto scaling in the bottom side for BLG. Not too surprising of a turn of events with 380 carry bans towards Alto.
And on goes on towards his Rakan as well. He is such a talented player at this pick. And, last year, this is one of the picks which he used to rise to prominence. He'd pick this in any different matchup. He's picking up blind tick here alongside this Zeri. With a lot of lane dominance gone, you have to answer, well, okay, what Photic and Zhuo going to go towards? You could go towards Senna. You'd have the Senna Rumble Equalizer kind of combo. This would be very different though. Do they want to go towards kill pressure? They definitely go towards that. No, Jinx locked in, so crit carry towards that boss side. Instead trying to match scaling for scaling with Jinx versus Zeri.
So all about the team fights here for NIP so far. The Thresh going to be locked in for Zhuo as well. It's always a champion that I'm excited to see locked in here. See big smiles on the NIP faces. They are feeling confident coming into this second one. That's really, really good to see. And I feel like that's something we've seen throughout this playoffs is that NIP, no matter how the first series goes, no matter how the first game of the series goes, no matter how the series is going, it feels like spirits are still high within the team. That's something it often feels like with teams that Rookie is on.
And we've seen plenty of clips of them, laughing about on stage, happy with what they're doing in draft. And we do see Bin on Aatrox.
Bin on screen.
Bin.
Just pure stoic.
That's such a good juxtaposition. He is. It's like for you, it was the greatest game of your life. For me, it was what day is it today? For you, it was a Saturday. Tuesday's division quote. Either way, Aatrox into Rumble. It is a matchup which Aatrox can farm in a lot of the time because he plays like a half-range champion with a Q. But still, it's not a matchup which always goes the way of Aatrox. Typically, Rumble was used into Aatrox for a large amount of the last kind of phase of pro play. We are, however, with these picks being locked in, not had jungles locked in so far. We saw the Vi and the Poppy locked in very early last time. They're both found away in the second round. Wouldn't surprise me to see Xin Sao to be locked in. I also wonder whether Maokai and Sejuani are also looked at from the side of NIP to have that long-ranged, non-committal engage, which can combo up with the hooks, and also work into the Jinx and then also the Equalizer as well.
Yeah, I mean, Maokai Rumble as a combo, it's similarly to like Varus Rumble, right? Just any of that long-range CC that will keep them in place for a bit so that the Equalizer can just burn through. But then also you got a Thresh that can follow very well on those routes, but it's going to be the Azir ban as well, so even more bans levied towards Rookie. Fire's taken off the board. See if another engaged jungler is taken away from Shun here. It will be that Sejuani.
So, Sejuani for Shun. I guess on the side of NIP, none of these champions could survive getting hit by a Sejuani ultimate. That'll be awful for them. They do need one more source of engage if they can help it. Nico is unbanned. That is a chance to be locked in for Knight's one of his best picks. I was wondering what was going to happen with the Tristana this series. Knight and Rookie, fantastic mid laners, haven't always prioritized this, but they take this away from Rookie. And this is important because we could have seen a Maokai Tristana locked in 4-5 for NIP. Now you can't. And if you wanted to play that Maokai, you'd love to have an AD mid laner to put alongside it. So NIP maybe have less options now with that.
It's kind of funny to see the Tristana there as well. This is the first time Nine picks it up this year. It's not a strategy that BLG are particularly led on. I'm trying to say they won't know how to do it, but here we go. Second Diana of the year.
Oh, and it's jungle!
Managed to destroy Chaos Diana. Now they lock it in alongside Rookie's Yasuo.
Oh, you can see the smile on the face of Knight on the other side. Is like, oh, so that's how it's going to be. So, Yasuo versus Tristana, that's a pretty intricate matchup in mid lane as well because of the mobility of Yasuo on the minion wave and then also his wind wall. And this is now an interesting answer from NIP because we saw that BLG took the Tristana so NIP could lock in the Tristana Maokai on 4-5 and they lock it in themselves on 5, but now the Maokai needs to play into the wind wall. NIP, they cannot afford ever to get hit by a good engage by BLG because they're a very squishy comp. It wouldn't surprise me actually to see Aki going towards more of a tanky Diana build. We've typically seen, in the mid lane game, we saw from Cow, we saw from Lichbane. Wouldn't surprise me to see something a little bit more tanky so we can try to be a temporary frontline for a point. But more importantly than that are the Wind Wall and the Thresh Express lantern coming out from Zhuo to make sure that NIP don't fall into a clutch engage from BLG.
Not to mention that Flake can set up for Yasuo as well. If you can get onto multiple people. Let's see though, it's all about the Moonfall, let's be realistic. And I just love that after this draft, you're seeing the players on the cameras, massive grins on the faces of both Knight and Rookie. They know that they're in for a bagger. They know that they're in for a game where individual skill expression will be king. BLG will not have the opportunity to just completely control the game as they did in game number 1. This is much more about individual prowess, and that's where NIP can find advantages, especially with Rookie in that mid lane.
Rookie. Onto that Yasuo. He was playing that all the way back when he won the OGN for the first time. Back 10 years ago over in Korea. It has been a while since I've seen Rookie's Yasuo. I'm so excited to see it. Hopefully some montage plays to be made. It is an AD versus AD mid lane matchup between Knight and Rookie. They were really stars of the show in their own way in game 1. Game 2, they have flipped the script, but are no less important.
I feel like we're getting a little bit of happy gaming coming out here for game number 2. Photic and Elk just running around each other as Knight tries not to get caught in the mid lane. Walk down in the lane there from On as he resets, and I wonder if he'll grab a sweeper for himself. But man, Yasuo for Rookie in the mid lane, Diana for Aki. Shanji gets his signature rumble as well. This should be an absolute banger of a brawl in the top side.
Oh man, I love this so much. I love the fact that NIP have not been cowed by that game 1 loss and they pull out something different. We had to see this from them earlier in playoffs. Reminder folks, they had themselves a very close series versus Team WE, even at their first time of asking in this playoffs. Now they're coming through into the best team in the LPL. They showed that comprehensively even in game 1 against BLG. And they pull out something different. That's important. Maybe you can rock them off their momentum. And they're starting at level 1 in the bush.
Elk will be the target. Look at the positioning from Photic, so aggressive. They're looking to force Elk out of lane. Tempo is procced for Photic. Elk's got to be cautious. Yeah, I wasn't sure if a Pow rocket was going to fly in there. That's Ghost Burn, all for an Ignite.
Oh, that's so important. So last game, you know, I saw a lot of criticism floating around for Aki's Poppy. I do think that largely the reason he couldn't play out that game very easily is because of the pressure coming in from BLG as a full team. I feel like now with bot lane winning comprehensively, the lane set up well for them too. That will give Aki on the Diana, which is less of an early power pick, some breathing room to then get towards higher amounts of CS and get towards that point where you can just be a wombo combo machine and potentially catch BLG off guard. The engage coming in from NIP can be very, very explosive from very, very long distance away if you have flash up for Aki.
And man, isn't it funny to see that the cheese that works in solo queue still works at the very highest level of play? Photo Control getting themselves to level 2 now. And Elk, look at his inventory. He's got a cull with 0 stacks on it so far. And already used that health potion in the first play just to try and survive. So this is going to become, like, it's already pretty bad. It's only going to get worse from here for Elk.
Particularly with Photic and Zhuo, they have a really important moment here where they are in the driver's seat for what they want to do with their wave. They're going to be able to get themselves a really good first recall. They managed to deny themselves on the other side, deny Elk a good back early on. Can they stick around to get themselves some turret damage? They can get themselves a back any time from now, basically. They've got a really big wave to go up towards here, though, and they will get themselves a good amount of gold to get themselves really good items for laning phase, good chompers.
Yeah, Flame Chompers come down. You've got to remember as well that Flame Chompers, even if you don't get the all-in off the back of it, they also do a little bit of damage, a little bit of bonus poke coming through as Rookie goes in on tonight. Nice use of the wind wall, sits inside it. The wind wall a lot fatter than it looks. And Rookie taking advantage of that to deny a lot of the damage from that Tristana E.
Also, it's why it's not this skin, but Project Yasuo was a little bit paid to lose for a while because it was so easy to tell where the wind wall was compared to some of the other skins, like his pretty much everything else there. And Rookie, it's the first time that he's played this champion in near enough 3 years. Last time was 21 summer for him. I remember him playing it though all the way back in Champions 2014, back when he really started making a name for himself too. This guy has such a history on it. Knight though on the Tristana had a lot of successes with it last year, as the whole LPL did. AD versus AD mid lane matchup. We haven't seen it too much on screen. Really want to see how that works, particularly post level 6.
I'm a little surprised to see how long Photic and Zhuo stuck around in this early laning phase. I feel like there was a solid angle. I mean, obviously they've got themselves a plate, so finding more advantage, you can see the CS lead speaks for itself. There's an angle to go back and get an early cull, and in fact he will now reset and grab that cull. As Shun manages to get that crab, and Zhuo's there to get Aki out of dodge.
That Lantern will be increasingly more important as the game goes on. Again, not a fantastic front line from NIP. Your front line is actually the win wall. Sometimes we talk about it in terms of front line doesn't always have to be someone who doesn't take damage. Sometimes it can actually be a skill shot or a skill that can help with that. You know, stuff like gangplank barrels in an abstract way can be a front line because no one wants to walk into the gangplank barrels. Something like this though, Lantern forwards, here comes the flash.
Flash from Elk immediately on, has his own, but W's the opposite direction here. Flayed back, then flashes and dashes away, but still taken down. First blood in the hands of Zhuo. Knight actually getting all in the mid lane as well. The bomb is already down. Level 6 not hit for Rookie, and Knight Buster shots him away.
Oh, that was clutch from Knight. Realizes he'll die if he auto-attacks Rookie. Needs to get the level 6. And does manage to get himself safely out. There's a flash from Rookie. I was wondering if he could go flash for flash there, actually, and take that away from Knight. But Knight gets himself a teleport back into lane. Rookie on the Yasuo, starting off at least the laning phase strong. NIP is particular, well, actually, every single lane. Big advantages looking across it now. Shanji on his Rumble doing very well. Bot lane and mid lane, as we've just seen in the last few clips, did well for themselves too. And this means that Aki, even though he's not the driving force, has been allowed to farm upper successfully now. It allows him to get into the game a little bit later on. Gets himself a Thresh Express in, and you can tell it's a strong combo when even Rakan can't escape. On does a W to try and just buy some space, but even then, cannot escape as slippery as Rakan is.
Yeah, that rocket following from Photic. In the meantime, Aki up on this top side. Hex Flash in the mid lane. Knight still has that flash. Oh, but the Thresh hook kind of denies the buffer. It's not enough. Rookie doesn't go it.
Yeah, that's one of the things about Thresh Hook is that it has too little displacements in it. Much harder to buffer out of that one than it is to get out of a Blitzcrank or a Nautilus Hook. And now he doesn't have his jump up, but luckily On is here to make sure that the all-in doesn't happen, particularly with melee mid laners like the Yasuo, who can struggle to get out of some fights depending on how he uses his E. If someone is hovering around to make sure they're in the lane as Yasuo dashes in, you can stop him from getting a lot of those assassination combos that we typically see you know, all across solo queue. And once again, it's kind of stopped there. There's been some action, but no blood in that mid lane. Dragon is up on clearing some vision. We don't have level 6s from the junglers just yet. They'll be hitting that on their next camp or two. And that's where I really think the big brawls start to come through, especially with the likes of resets from either Jinx or Tristana being the beneficiary of those ultimates paying off.
I just love that we get a Yasuo versus Tristana match. Like, you know, we came in today, and that first matchup with our control mages in the mid lane, I've got to say, I was a little bit disappointed that we got just control mages going out for Rookie and Knight in the 1v1. Then game number 2, we're gifted this Yasuo matchup. Been a nice trade up on the top side as well, doing his best to stay as even as he can, but it's not very even at all. Huge lead for Shanji up there. But Rookie, I'm looking towards him. I'm looking to what he can do. Later on in the game, 6s have been hit across the board, and that is a scary moment for BLG because now Aki has that Moonfall, you get a multi-man Diana ult, things are going to go real bleak real quick for BLG.
And also with the mobility boots from Zhuo, very easy to set up for that if this Thresh manages to slip off the vision. Shanji popping the Ghost, but does get caught all the same. Goes for ult traded right now.
So I'm just trying to think, I'm thinking in advance of the combo. Diana Yasuo, are we calling that moon breath? You get the moonfall into last breath.
That sounds like a kind of mouthwash.
Yeah.
Like, how many dentists recommend that one? Is that the 1 out of 10 dentist recommendation? Anyway, Maokai's going down. Here's the Lantern. Can it save him? I don't think it can.
Oh no! The Lantern, it's sort of in the wrong direction, to be honest. Zhuo was walking the wrong side of the lane. I almost baited Photic as now
the combo
comes in as the counter engaged from the side of NIP, and the rest of the gang is here. Moon Breath and Shun gets the brunt of it, regretting that mouthwash starting the day.
Yeah, and it's the last breath. There's not yours as Rookie takes down 1 kill, gets himself onto the board as well. You see that BLG, they overplayed themselves a little bit, and Zhuo actually pays off in regards to splitting away from his AD carry. He doesn't take that Maokai combo, opens up a dragon, that's important, NIP. They kind of fell apart a little bit as soon as objectives went away from them in that last game. Sadly for BLG, their mid laner Knight, who was so active in the last game, in the early game, can't get to the play first this time. It's very hard to go into Fog of War against the Yasuo Diana as the Tristana. You can't really follow Yasuo if he goes into the dark.
It's really difficult. I like this draft from NIP. I like that they have come into game number 2, swinging, bringing something crazy, but now the game pace should pick up, right? Moonfall, not actually that long of a cooldown, surprisingly. You'd think it would be longer than it is, considering how powerful of an ability it is. And that's a rocket belt picked up for Aki as well. You know he's looking for these plays on repeat.
Absolutely, it gives him the extra engage range too, which is very, very important. I love how Zhuo plays this, actually, thinking about it. Because he knows his mid-jungle are coming down quicker, he can buy himself some time, and he knows that he's tanky enough with the Glacial as well involved that BLG will have to back off. The reason that they don't stick around for this kill is that if they did, even more people would get caught in the Moon Breath. Patent pending, I suppose, but still, this combo, so long range. Now, the flash, of course, isn't going to be up for the next one, which will mean there's a bit more safety from BLG, but still, very, very dangerous if Diana can just go in and pop up that engage.
This Moon Breath, it's going to be a problem for BLG. It was a problem for Neil Armstrong's wife when he got home. It's you know, it's been playing people for decades at this point. I really don't know. BLG, they're going to have to go Buzz Aldrin on this one, and I don't know. Not have a snake in their boots, fly forward style, I don't know. Yeah, if they forward style, that means they didn't die to the Moonfall, right? So they can go Buzz Aldrin on this one.
I don't even know how to choose that one. Well, looks like BLG are trying not to eat Moon Rocks with this combo. They're avoiding the Diana and going straight onto Shanji with a double bop.
Yeah, what can you do? Shanji Bin even slides in to just steal the kill in the last second. However, Arna's been found on the top side of the map, so 2 catches simultaneously.
Okay, so NIP continually keeping themselves up in kill participation. Shanji caught out a little bit of dodge there. The problem with the Rumble is that you're great at wave clearing if you're under turret and playing weak side there. If you're not on a turret and you're against multiple people, much harder to play around that. So, bit of a misstep from Shanji. Awkward on that front. Rookie, though, he is farming up very nicely, and that's going to be a bit of a problem from BLG. What BLG need to really be doing is, again, kind of trying to blow that wind wall as best as possible and then look for a big Maokai. It's kind of hard to do that, though. If you had a Sejuani, maybe you'd be tanky enough to survive that initial engage. It's kind of harder to do that, though. Hook lands. Zhuo. Here is the player which has been criticized an awful lot so far in NIP's split on the whole. His playoffs run, though, against FPX and now here in the first couple of games, has been really a glow-up, though. And the Thresh has been a welcome sight for a lot of supports to return to their champion pool. It has been such a specialty pick for years.
It has, and he's looked good today. He has looked on point with these hooks so far. Managed to find his targets, and just everything looking beautiful from NIP in this early game. We talked about these drilled early games coming out from them, the fact that they were able to bring them to FPX and kind of shut down the FPX strategy. And it feels like this is somewhat of a strategy from NIP to deny the lane advantages that we so often see from BLG, completely shutting out this bottom lane when it came to the pick and ban and being able to have the range advantage. Then the level 1 strategy to shut them out further, getting the counter pick for Rookie, having a rumble up top for Shanji as well. It's really beautiful to see NIP coming in with such a great response after game number 1.
Yeah, in game number 1, they were the ones that were comprehensively shut down pretty much from laning phase. So NIP to kind of turn that question around has been very, very important here in game number 2. Significant advantage. You can see that they do have themselves the 6 grubs, and that dragon very important in terms of those objectives as we let go later on. Again, you can see if BLG can find themselves a big engage. It's kind of hard when you're behind in stats, though. No one is really tanky enough to survive that engage, and NIP, they have that flashback on the Diana. That is such an important thing. It increases the threat range so much.
On top of the rocket belt as well. You really can go from basically a screen away as Aki and find that combo.
That doesn't stop that ward. Ooh, okay, right. That's why we saw the observer's chat toggling the vision there. That vision ward actually ended up to surviving. So BLG walk back in there, knowing that they are safe.
Also, honestly, the fact that BLG go and clear that, maybe that could have led to more. Like, you maybe just leave that control ward, right? And give them false information false sense of security off of that vision. Rookie tries to find right in the mid lane. I'm enjoying watching this Rookie Yasuo. I feel like his mechanics have always been like one of the best things Rookie brings to the table. This is a champion that you really can flex, and with Rookie being in the form that he's in, every time the observers pan to him, I'm just like cautiously excited for what I'm gonna see.
Yeah. And we already saw him play the Yone earlier into playoffs as well, and he played it a fair amount last year as well, comparative to what he had done beforehand. Now Dragon is up, and there is all systems are go for NIP. Knight on the top side doesn't have teleport. He's walked over a vision wall, which means that NIP realize they can take this Dragon for free. There is no fight incoming. They don't have to delay. Take this one absolutely for free, because BLG do not want to face up into this combo. What BLG realistically need to do is work to blow a couple of these flashes from NIP, and maybe a couple of the ultimates if they can help it as well. But if you can get Aki's flash after he's out of position, I think BLG can look for a big fight after that point a little easier. It's not completely easy, again, Protobelt's still there, the E range from Diana is longer than you expect at points too, but if that happens, that'll be the go button.
Certainly will. Knight really cannot disrespect Rookie at all, like the power of being able to slide through that minion wave and close the gap. Something very difficult to deal with as Rookie clears that wave. NIP starting off a herald for themselves. I just want to quickly point out on the scoreboard as well, the CS leads that were found early from NIP, like Rookie was like 20 CS up on Knight at one point, Shanji was really far ahead of Bin. They have been somewhat mitigated now. Obviously Bin getting that kill earlier on Shanji as well will certainly help. It does feel like that gap that was opened up by NIP, not as significant as it was earlier on. The one thing I will say though is 6 scrubs, 2 dragons, and now a herald. That's complete objective dominance.
But the thing is, the reason why some of these CS leads have shrunk a little bit is because the way that NIP's comp works is that you need to call over multiple people to look for the engage. You can't really just have one person starting it. You need the Diana and the Yasuo. The only real exception to that is a good hook landing from Zhuo, which means that you have to call people away from lanes. And we can see that BLG, they've been pretty happy to say, look, we don't really want to face up even 4v4, 5v5. Shanji here as well just has to wave clear as best he can, because you can see that BLG, they're trying to farm up on as multiple waves as they can while being respectful of that combo. Problem is, if you pay too much respect, then of course things will fall apart and you don't get access to that farm which you've been fighting for all this time.
Pop-up comes on through. Quickness is there as well. Photic almost going down and drops a thumbs up as well. It's like, oh, 2 ultimates for that one. I'll take that.
This is on the backside of that. So this is kind of awkward timing here for BLG to look for that play too. If they'd gotten that play, it would be nice to get some control over vision, but now Shun going down towards bot side. There's no wind wall here to save it. Aki's here to protect though. BLG maybe aware of his presence. They go back away from that play. All the same though, Photic, it's not like him being off of midway for a little bit but loses them anything. It's not like there's a Dragon to go over, it's not like there's a Baron to go over or anything like that without the Jinx being present in mid lane. So BLG, they get themselves, you know, the Ghost, and that's it.
I want to throw another statistic towards you here, Nymeara.
All right.
We talked about BLG, when they're ahead at 15 minutes, 100% win rate, right? They haven't lost a game where they're ahead at 15 minutes. Well, it was a 2,000 gold lead for NIP at 15 minutes. And BLG, the easiest team ever when it comes to these statistics, because their win rate with a deficit of 15 is 0%. They either win the early game or they lose the game. Now, there's only 5 games this year where they didn't win that early game, but this will be the 6th. NIP off to a stonking start, and BLG have yet to show us this year that they can win from behind.
And in this game, the problem is you can't just go in for a full 5v5. You need to take away some of these big tools. It's going to be very hard to do that. Again, big push coming in from NIP, and they're threatening this mid lane now. And every time this happens, you have to think about, where is Aki?
Equalizer comes down. That's the Moonfall that doesn't really lead to anything, but Aki manages to keep himself alive. The ward turns invisible while he's in Sonya, so he can then take the lantern. Shanji denying Bin the flank as well, and Aki gets out of dodge.
So that's going to be Seekers down. That's something taken away, but again, he still has that flash. Next time his ult's available, needs to be very, very careful. Now Rookie charging up his own Q on those waves. Might be a bit of a threat next time they come through. BLG, what plays can they realistically make? You have to be so careful with his hooks as well. As you said in draft, the Flay can set up for the last breath as well. So lots of things that BLG have to be respectful of. And during all this time, when they've been pushed in this mid lane and that Herald got huge value, BLG have lost a lot of their wards, which they had set up. They did have a good pocket of vision towards the bottom side of the map. That doesn't exist now. We have Dragon coming up in a minute. They have one control ward on the bot side, which maybe Bin can use to teleport to around that fight. But if they give up this next Dragon against Soul Point, against a team that they've not even been able to take flashes away from, BLG are going to be in a really, really hard situation. And credit to NIP to putting them in there after the game 1.
Yeah, really great bounce back from NIP here. And now we get to the exciting part, don't we? In 20 seconds, the Drake spawning. BLG all fresh off of resets. They've got as much item as possible. And they've got quite a deep ward there that's just out of range of the control ward. And in fact, the control ward moved anyway. Potential for something. Bin has that TP available as Rookie pushes in. BLG, they've certainly got the mechanical skill within this roster to make outplays, but outplays they must make.
Another thing which is going to make their job a little harder as it comes to this, Aki, what's he doing here again? Aki and Rookie on the same screen. Have to just hold your breath. Going to be the last one, but they're tanky. Rookie's gone for the ice spawn. Shanji going for a bit of tank as well. The solo lane is not easy to burst out and get resets, but they have enough of a lead to still do damage. Dragon started up. It's not like there's a Kalista for a Ren this time. We could be going for a flip, but if you give that flip, Photic starts to get excited.
BLG moving behind everyone. The flame chopper's down and Shun just caught out, forced to flash. The equalizer still burns him though as the moonfall goes in. NIP, absolute chaos on the rift. BLG torn asunder, but Bin finds one. Elk's still going as Rookie and Shanji are there to cut him down. Bin in a 1v2 against the NIP solo laners, and he knows he's got no shot. NIP take their third Drake.
BLG venture into the dark, and they find a death sentence waiting for them. Zhuo's hook is what really ends up winning this fight for NIP, because Shun doesn't get to do anything this fight. BLG now sit down at an increasing gold lead. They're going to lose this bot side tower potentially as well. Actually, Bin might just be high enough health to wave clear that one, but still, Soul Point, extra kills going over. BLG, at least they take away some flashes from the carries of NIP, but still losing comprehensively in the team fights that we were worried about. Felt like when all tools are available, NIP just have so much more to bring to bear when they're on the objective first. Hook out a Fog of War into full CC. The equalizer up the top is a good one. Also tags Elk as well. And by the time Shun flashes out, he's already burning down to the DOT. He dies for free pretty much. And Bin's flank on the other side basically does nothing because the engages came in to rearrange where Diana and Yasuo are on the table too. Bin doesn't even get to catch them in his flank.
Man, I swear this NIP composition, let's call it Moonbase Alpha, because not only have you got the Moon Breath combo, you got an orbital strike from the Moonbase. Shanji launching missiles into the backline and absolutely shredding them. I mean, there's just not, and even Photic is a rocket scientist, literally. it couldn't be more Moonbase military stuff. I'm struggling.
You know, one of my favorite things. One of my favorite things about the Apollo 11 landing is so Michael Collins, which is the astronaut which people forget about sometimes, he didn't walk on the moon, gave a suggestion for the first thing to say on the moon was just go, "Oh my God, what is that?" and then just to cut off the radio. Imagine how that would have gone all those years ago. Glad to see that comedy was still on the minds of the astronauts that they did that too. NIP might be one small step in this series, but it'll be a giant leap ahead from where they were after that game 1. Let's see if they can, again, just push BLG. The fact that they can beat them in a game shows that they can go even more beyond that. I think a lot of people who are predicting a 3-0 can understand why, but you can see what NIP are bringing to the table here.
Great to see having this presence on potentially caught out. He is on Rakan. You can never really quite catch Rakan out, and instead turns it into an engage as Knight jumps into the action. Buster shot though, and the Moon Breath lands once more. On goes down, but Rookie is low. Elk survives and he takes one with him. Rookie to fall as it's 4v4, but Shun can't escape. There's so much flying at him. It's debris as the shuttle leaves the station, and explosions as NIP head to the Baron.
Oh yeah, Houston, we have a problem. There's a lot of very dangerous people on the other side. BLG, they do not have the vision control. They do not have the safety. They don't have the tank to survive this combo. They're teleporting in for one last gasp as Knight is here.
Knight trying to make it happen. Bin on the flank as well. Don't commit to the play in the end. Photic is searching for this Aatrox, but Bin he's well out of there. He's all the way over to Mars by now as he escapes the play. But importantly, BLG stop that Baron.
They do. That's an important moment. Problem is, doesn't solve their problem of walking into that same area of the map. They haven't well, we'll see when we come out alive what they manage to get themselves some more vision control after the resets come through. But see, that is so hard to cut through the first players in this, this situation. Massive ultimate coming through. Knight does get out, but Knight's effectively out of the fight despite the fact that he escapes. That's damage done. They do take down the Yasuo. There is a reason why Yasuo does go for the Iceborne Gauntlet, because they do tend to die on their own engages a lot of the time, but it makes it just that little bit harder. Now, BLG getting onto the top side of the map, they do get themselves a pocket of vision. Problem is, if the fight isn't around this dragon, or around the Baron, it's going to be around the dragon, which they don't have vision control there. So they kind of have two different sides of the map they need to be worried about. One is secure for now, the other very much isn't.
I've got to say, I don't feel like this is over just yet, because what we saw in that fight is NIP's composition. On the start of the fight, you know, you've got this insane combo. It does feel a little bit one and done. If Elk survives that combo, if he's got good health and any kind of engage remaining with BLG, there is a lot of potential for post-fight cleanup from Elk. Potentially, you know, Knight with the rocket jump resets. If Bin can get on a flank on the Aatrox, we know what he can do. Bin 2-0-2, by the way, this game. Considering how that laning phase started, he's actually even in CS and has been having an impact.
So that's actually why I want to put the microscope onto Shanji. So Shanji has built this on the Rumble before. It's a battle Rumble. You're not there just to burn people down with maximum damage over time and AP scalings and whatever. He goes towards the Randuins a little later into his build, and we do see a pick onto Aki.
Damage onto Aki, goes for the Moonfall, but there's no combo there, and now Bin arrives on the scene. Aki is caught out with 17 seconds until Drake comes up. Aki's got nowhere to go, and he will go down. Shun finds Shanji on top of it as well. The combo is there. Shun, you gotta survive this one. They need you for the spike.
Oh, the rocket!
The rocket's in! And Shanji lives through as Photic on the resets the lantern to get him out. Safety death sentence slides as Rookie finds Elk, but Elk flashes away. Photic now getting the rockets out. Elk corralled by NIP as Rookie closes the distance, but Elk slides out the bottom side of the play. NIP somehow still in it.
We are recalculating our flight paths in this one. Elk, he might have found himself into a bit of an asteroid field. It's a Hex Flash into death. He'll skate no more. BLG, they do find the Diana. That's an important part. You don't see the big wombo coming out of Rookie, but they still just don't have the stats at this point. NIP managed to chase down. We were worried about what Bin could do, what Elk could do in a cleanup. We very nearly saw that, but it won't be enough to save the soul just yet, unless there's one last twist. I don't think there will be.
Bit of Morse code coming out. NIP saying, save our Dragon Souls. And they will get that Ocean Soul now taken in. As this just starts with absolute chaos. The combo doesn't work out for NIP.
And the big thing is, as you said, what happens if Elk is not part of the combo? I'm actually not sure if Rookie was in range result there. Sometimes the Yasuo follow-up range can be a little bit shorter than you think. See that Knight, though, massacred on the backside of this. A hook lands and Zhuo, once again, proving his value in this one. This is also the value of the Randuins coming in from Shanji. It helps him stay alive, the extra stats, and also slows down the follow-up a little bit too. And just to allow Photic to start stacking up that get excited. It has to flash back to the Lantern, though, as much stuff there. Almost flashed into the Electroshock Laser, which could have ended that fight. Such hectic fights, BLG showing that they are. Oh, we're back in the live, folks!
Oh, it's all kicking off, and suddenly it's Photic. I don't know how this happened, but the Moon Breath lands once more. BLG, they need a minute to survive this one as the Buster Shot. Knight still going on this one as On escapes on the bottom side of the play. I can try to get onto this backline. Bin must go huge if BLG want to survive this series, but he just walks away with his tail between his legs. NIP, the Moon Breath works out. Baron's on the cards, and Shanji hunting for extras. Bin caught, can't teleport, and will burn on down.
Oh, NIP, the combo lands again. Really does feel like NIP came in with a lot of confidence even after that game one, and you can't blame them for it when they're playing it out like this. They have their Infinity Edge spikes on their carries. They're going to have themselves Ocean Soul and Baron to boot as well. They will start taking control, well and truly control of this game. They managed to catch out a really good engage with the Maokai ult, but you can see that there's already a cleanse coming through. They get the Jinx, but even with that, they don't have the stats to survive the wombo just after this point. I think Knight, you know, he tries to find himself a great position in here, but the wind wall already kind of stops him from getting optimal damage. A hook afterwards from Zhuo. What a great game he's had on this Thresh again. BLG are not able to find the entrance or the follow-up to the fights that they really want.
Moonbase Alpha strikes again. The Moon Breath, the equalizer, everything working out
That's
for
not
them.
a moon, it's a wombo combo. This battle station is fully operational.
Planet destruction here. Planetary destruction? I don't know. NIP either way. Happy with the way this one's going. Astronauts in pajamas? Question mark. It doesn't quite
I
start
was
with
going
an
to go
N.
with ninjas in
Not,
orbit.
wait, noughts in pajamas! It all makes sense. Oh dear, NIP though, I love the way they're doing this. And dare I say, bringing out this composition against BLG, coming into this series after game number 1 being so one-sided and finding this win, this feels a little bit like Mojo to me. This feels a little bit like Mojo. And if anyone's ever had it, it's Rookie.
So NIP, they need one last fight to carry themselves over this finish line. Elder in 3 minutes, I think they can fight before that. Here comes the equalizer. I think it's just for the turret right now, but it's enough damage to force the carries back. BLG scrambling once again.
The equalizer comes down. You just hear the horns in the distance. Pa, 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 pa. Wait, I was trying to do Helldivers, but that was just the Avengers. I always do that. There's On just caught out here. Oh, the Ignite not quite enough. Does dash out to safety, but Shun might not be so lucky. Aki only gets one with the Moonfall, and BLG are still alive. Aki caught the wind wall is so obnoxious, and Aki walks away with his life. He's got that Ocean Soul as well, so the sustain is there for NIP as they continue to search. But Bin with the World Ender wants to find Zhuo, gets the chains on with a knock-up as well. The knock-up only on to Bin here as that gets onto the back line. Keep your eyes on Elf though, because Rookie has found him, and Bin is alone. Photic winning at the speed of light, and NIP go even in the series.
It's one stall step for man, one giant one-more combo for NIP. They bring us to an even series in a matchup which no one thought they'd be able to take a game off of largely. BLG, they had the most dominant split we have ever seen in this format. Only the 6th game they have lost this year. NIP, they show up with confidence, they show up not being cowed by that game 1, and what a game to show it off with. I love this combo, I want to see more of it, and I want to see how much they have left in those solid fuel rocket boosters for this series.
I can quite happily tell you all that the Eagle has landed indeed. NIP, the Noughts in pajamas, land on the moon and find themselves game number 1. We're going to go, game number 2, sorry, their first game. We're going to jump into a break and find out how this series continues.